Are you frustrated with your lack of core progress? I mean, you're putting in the time, hitting the mat day after day, but that carved, aesthetic look just isn't showing up in the mirror? Well, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because we're going to completely transform the way you think about core training. We're breaking down some incredibly insightful material that reveals exactly how you can turn an average physique into a truly aesthetic one, and you can do the whole thing entirely from home.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why, despite literally all your effort, are those abs still hiding? Honestly, it can be incredibly demotivating to feel like you're doing everything right and just getting nowhere. But I want you to take a breath, because it's very likely that your effort isn't the problem here. Actually, scratch that. It's almost certainly not the problem. The real issue is that you might be training completely wrong. Most of us have been sold a massive lie about what it actually takes to build a strong, visible core.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it shatters the absolute biggest core training myth out there. On the left, we see what most people assume abs come from, dropping to the floor and doing hundreds, if not thousands, of basic crunches. But they simply don't work that way. Crunches alone won't save you. The reality, which is over on the right, is far more efficient. All you actually need is a highly targeted 3-exercise routine combined with the right body composition. That's the whole shebang.
So here is our crisp roadmap for this explainer. First, the crunch myth. Second, the anatomy of your core. Third, the physical moves, the 3 essential exercises. And finally, the crucial kitchen secret.
Section 1. The crunch myth. It's time to stop those random, high-volume workouts that just leave you with average results. Section 2. Anatomy of your core. To build a complete six-pack, we really have to understand exactly what we're diving into anatomically.
And this brilliantly illustrates how your core is kind of like a giant puzzle. It's not just one single block of muscle that you can target with one repetitive movement, right? There are 3 key areas you need to focus on. First, your upper abs. Their job is to help curl your torso towards your hips. Second, your lower abs, which tilt your pelvis and bring your legs upward while keeping your core tight. And finally, your obliques, on the sides of your waist, which handle rotating your body. Think about it. If you miss even one of these puzzle pieces, your abs are going to look totally incomplete. You have to hit the entire core to get that truly carved appearance.
Section 3. The 3 essential exercises. This is the highly actionable routine you can do right at home. Let's get into it.
Here is the absolute best part. You don't even need a gym membership for this. Exercise number 1 is the reverse crunch. This is, hands down, one of the most effective movements you can possibly do for targeting those incredibly stubborn lower abs.
Let's walk through the setup together, almost like I'm your personal trainer right there in your living room. First, lie flat on your back, bend your knees, and keep your feet off the floor. Place your hands beside you or directly under your hips for support. Next, pull your knees toward your chest and lift your hips off the floor. Pause for just a second at the very top, and then lower down slowly with total control. That is 1 perfect rep. And hey, as a pro tip, once this gets a bit too easy, you can simply slow down that lowering phase even more, or straighten your legs out entirely to bump up the difficulty.
So, the crucial point is this. The absolute most common mistake people make here is using momentum. They just swing their legs up and down. That is completely useless for your core. You're just working your hip flexors at that point. Instead, you need to think about actively rolling your pelvis upward. That physical roll of the pelvis is what actually engages those lower abdominal muscles and forces them to do the real work.
All right, here is your target volume. 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. I promise you, if you hit this using perfect, controlled form, avoiding that leg swing and focusing purely on the pelvic roll, your lower abs are going to be absolutely begging for mercy by the end.
Moving right along to exercise number 2, bicycle crunches. I love this one because of its dual efficiency. It's an incredible 2-for-1 movement. You're highly efficiently toning the upper abdominal muscles while simultaneously adding crucial work for your obliques.
Okay, let's get the physical setup down. Start by lying flat on your back. Place your hands lightly behind your head and lift those shoulders off the floor. Now bring one knee towards your chest while actively rotating your torso so the opposite elbow comes toward that knee. As you return, smoothly switch sides and repeat the movement, kind of like you're pedaling a bicycle. And here is your golden rule for this one. Keep your lower back firmly pressed against the floor the entire time. But here is where most people completely mess up this amazing exercise. They treat it like a sprint. They go as fast as humanly possible. Let me be clear. The faster you go, the less your abs are actually working.
This movement is entirely about quality over quantity. Your ultimate progression is to actually slow down. Hold the squeeze for a full second every single time your elbow meets your knee.
Your target here is 4 sets of 20 total reps, which means exactly 10 reps for each leg. And let me tell you, if you do it perfectly, slowing down and really holding that squeeze, your abs are going to be on fire way before this set is even over.
And finally, we arrive at exercise number 3, Russian twists. This is the exercise that separates a mediocre core from an amazing one. If you want abs that look completely carved out from all angles, instead of just flat lines running down the middle, you absolutely have to hit those obliques. This one is essential.
Let's set it up. Sit on the floor with your knees bent. Lean back just a little bit until you feel your core really having to brace to keep you upright. Lift your feet off the floor if you can balance. Then, smoothly rotate your torso from side to side. And listen, once this gets easy, you don't need fancy equipment. Just hold a backpack, a dumbbell, or literally any heavy household object in your hands to add some great resistance.
Now pay close attention to this common mistake because I see it all the time. Please do not just wave your arms around from side to side like you're out in the street directing traffic. It might look funny, but it's doing absolutely nothing for your core. True rotation has to come from the torso. You need to actually rotate your rib cage, maintaining strict control on every single rep. Lock in these final numbers. 4 sets of 20 total repetitions. So that's 10 controlled twists to each side. If you're truly rotating your ribcage and not just flapping your arms, you're going to feel your sides light up immediately on rep number 1.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 4, the kitchen secret. Because exercise alone just isn't enough.
Here is the massive plot twist. You could build the strongest abs in the world with the routine we just did, but let this sink in. Abs are built from exercises, but they are revealed in the kitchen. That's the ultimate truth. Think about it. 2 different people can have equally strong abdominal muscles from doing the exact same routine. But if one has a visible six-pack and the other doesn't see a thing, the only difference, literally the only difference, is their body fat percentage. Those hard-earned muscles are just hidden under a layer of fat.
So here's the unavoidable reality broken down into a simple formula. If you want those visible abs, you have to get lean enough for them to show. First, you must maintain a small, manageable calorie deficit. Second, you have to eat enough protein to actually support the muscle you're building. And third, you just have to stay consistent over time. Do this long enough, and the amazing core muscles you've just built are finally going to break through and show up.
You've got the exact blueprint now. No more random, exhausting ab workouts that get you absolutely nowhere. The question is, are you ready to commit? Follow this highly targeted routine just 2 to 3 times a week. Focus on perfecting that form, get your kitchen habits totally dialed in, and just aim to get a little bit better every single session. Seriously, what is stopping you from getting down on the floor and doing your first set right now?